change the slides. So I really doubt that you will ever use it anywhere, but who knows, maybe. And it will be a bit silly, a bit nonsense, I think, but I hope fun. So tonight I would like to tell you about how I built a robot that checks on my posture, because at first it started with a problem that I have personally, because I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, and unfortunately I slouch, and I started having some problems with my back and so on. And I realized that many people around me also having similar issues, and I was looking for some kind of, let's say, software solution to that, but later it evolved to something completely different, and I just had a lot of fun on the way. I just would like to share some of my findings tonight with you. So, there's something like a tech agenda for tonight, so I would like to touch on several topics. First of all will be AI, which is probably no surprise, as everyone's talking about AI, so yet again, AI. But not only large language models, but also a bit about AI agents, about voice recognition. I just realized that I have the typo there, and speech recognition, machine learning, and computer vision. And later on, a bit more about the robotics, so Raspberry Pi robotics, microcontrollers, and so on, as well as feed general well-being and having something like a virtual trainer, I would say. So with that, I would like to tell you about the whole journey, how it all came to this place and what happened. So actually, it all started last year, not even with the robot, with something completely different, not even an AI, or partly AI, I would call it. And it all started with the application that I built with a group of my friends, and actually they are also here tonight with me, so thank you for coming. So we built an application for that, for like checking the posture, and also some kind of a real-time yoga. And later on, we published this application on Product Hunt. We got the 5th place as a product of the day, and then we got the 3rd place as a product in field of the fitness and well-being. And then some people start to ask about some let's say, device, separate standalone device for the application. And since it was working only on the desktop, I thought like, okay, but maybe I can just build a mobile app. But on the other hand, I really wanted to buy myself Raspberry Pi for years and years, but I didn't have any real reason for that. But again, I thought like, okay, maybe I can build it with Raspberry Pi, but what is the advantage of that? It's still better to just build a mobile app. But then I thought, okay, how about robots? And that's how I found this guy here. So actually it's something, some sort of a robot dog kit that you can find on AliExpress. There are several like that. You can also probably just 3D print your own. But I just wanted to have it ready. I don't have 3D printers, so I just ordered from AliExpress. As a side fact, I can just tell you that I paid around $250 for that, for the whole kit with Raspberry Pi. And here's the robot, you can see. So I can also tell you a little bit about the physical parts of it. So it's basically ESP32 controls something like Arduino, if you are familiar with that. And it controls this 12 servos, which are those legs. And on top of it, we have Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And also there is camera connected to the Raspberry Pi. And if you want to go a bit more into technical details, actually, Raspberry Pi runs Python Flask server that also exposes WebSocket, which then I can just send some comments to communicate with the robot, as well as the camera stream is going to Raspberry Pi, while Raspberry Pi itself is connecting with the ESP32 board over the serial, so just over those cables. And this is how it works, like from the technical side. There is actually one more thing. I also added this kind of cyberpunk-styled speaker to it and just taped it here. And it's also connecting via the Bluetooth, so the robot can speak, bark, and so on. So let's move on. But by the way, also one interesting thing is that I ordered actually on the 25th of December, so just right in the middle of the Christmas holiday. And believe it or not, even though it was going from Hong Kong, I believe, it came to my home barely in 4 days. And when I just got it, I thought like, okay, maybe just implementing my previous app would be fun, but why not to do something even more strange? And at that time, everyone was speaking about AI agents, how we can leverage large language models to act autonomously, just take some actions, and so on and so on. And I thought, how about using this robot to give those LLMs some sort of the extension as if they had their own body in a way. And I thought that probably it's not a very good idea, not efficient at all, probably a huge anti-pattern, but why not? Let's just give it a try. And at first, of course, like the easiest thing, the most lazy thing to do would be just probably to connect some open AI API or cloud AI, whatever you name it. But then I was afraid, how much will it cost? Will it work? And also I was like a little bit of privacy concerns, and I wanted to really run it locally to see how it will work. So in the first iteration, I used one of the local large language models. In this case, it was this Alibaba model called QuenVL, if I'm not sure, if I'm correct about the pronunciation. And also what is important is that, as you can see, I have the camera, so I really wanted to make it the multimodal model. And I was running it only on this exact laptop. It is the cheapest MacBook Air from 2020 with 16 GB of RAM, so like the lowest spec possible. And it was all running locally. And surprisingly, it worked quite well. So I just spin up the local large language model on my computer, Raspberry Pi. To be honest, I haven't even tried. I think it would be way too much. Actually, there are some extensions for that, so probably there would be some way around that. But I just decided to run it on my computer locally. And then what you can see here actually on this diagram, so we have this input, brain, and output. So first of all, we have the camera stream, as you can see here. The camera stream actually goes from the robot's camera, and then it goes to some sort of a server that is running on my computer in a loop, and it's continuously prompting the AI. And also, as you can see, there is a human voice. So it is using, in this case, still my laptop's microphone. So when I speak to it, it just transcribes my voice into the string and then adds to the prompt some of the commands that I can just say to the robot, as well as some of the frames from the camera. And in this way, the robot can kind of act autonomously. And then, based on that, it can just make some decisions and sends commands to the robot. And as you can see, it can output to the motor control, so the robot basically will move. Or it can also speak. So on this Raspberry Pi, like I told you, I'm running Flask server. And also there is a very tiny model for transcribing the text to generate some sort of voice. And I really like this comparison. I'm not sure, have you ever listened to this 90s album of Radiohead, OK Computer? So it really reminds me this type of voice. You will hopefully see this very soon. I'm actually here. So this was some sort of AI agent. I'm not sure even can I call it an AI agent. I will try to present it to you shortly, how it works in action. We will see. And later on, eventually, I came back to the posture police idea. There is still some sort of LM implementation in this way as well as we are coming, since today it's not Python Warsaw, but a Node.js Warsaw, so don't worry, there will be also some part of the JavaScript. So as you can see, the infrastructure changed a little bit. In terms of the hardware, it's still the same. The robot wasn't changed at all. There is still the same exact Flask server running there with all of the hardware there. But on my computer side, I actually gave up on Python and just rebuilt it with Node.js. Actually, there's very, very basic Express server running on my computer that exposes simple HTML website as a dashboard where I can control the robot. And also, on this website, I'm using TensorFlow.js for frame analyzing. And actually, to be exact, it uses the MoveNet model. So basically what I do is just take almost every frame and just try to analyze where are the body coordinates. And then based on those body coordinates, I can just make some kind of mathematical calculations, as well as there is, how to say, speech recognition module running directly in the browser, where when I speak to it, it can also transcribe my voice into the text, and again, prompt it to LLM. So you can say, okay, but what is the purpose of the LLM here? Again, just for fun. So sometimes it can also give me some kind of dynamic recommendation, advice based on my posture and so on. Yep, so this is how it works from the architecture-wise. I can show you a little bit of code, but I'm not sure how are we standing with time. I think it's already running quite long. And at this point, I would like to present you a bit with the live demo, which can be a bit tricky. Let's see will it work. So I will ask you for a minute of patience. So I will just put down my microphone. I will actually show you what I'm doing here. Actually, I can just start because you can see my screen here. So first of all, I have this SSH tunnel here, and it's already connected to my robot. So I will just run the server. Hopefully everything works. Let's see. It seems that everything is fine, so I'm just sending the command to start the server on this device here. Looks like we are fine, so we have the WebSocket running, up and running, and I can go back to the code editor right now, and let me start with the AI agent version. So no Node.js yet, and right now, okay, one more thing, I need to turn on the speaker.
Bluetooth mode. Connected.
I think it will be a bit, how to say, quiet, yeah. I hope you can, in worst case, just give it a microphone. So let's see. And I will just run the brain engine. Let's see what will happen. I have no idea. So by the way, if you want to look at the code, the vision controller is here. This is not JavaScript yet. It is Python. So yeah, it's quite long, one file. Let's give it a try. Hello, robot. Can you say hello? Okay, it started barking. Oh, it's I didn't control.
Hello there, human friend. Ready for some tail wagging adventures? Let's explore together.
So everything what you can see is happening dynamically. I don't control it at all. I don't know what will happen. Oh, and
Everything's positively perfect in my world.
yes, it is. Okay, thank you.
How about you? Let's sniff out some fun together. Woof. Sounds like you're on a wild ride. Just like me exploring new trails. Remember, sometimes not controlling things can lead to the best adventures. Keep wagging that tail.
All right. And now let's move on to the JavaScript version. So let me just change the branch. And right now, I will show you the JS implementation. It's super simple, even no TypeScript, very, very naive. So what I have here is actually, I will just run this local server, which also has connection. In this case, I actually used Cloud API, and maybe you can ask, okay, but you just mentioned 5 minutes ago that you don't want to use API because of the cost or because of the privacy concerns and so on. Well, yes, but then I just decided, okay, it's still quite slow, even though it was quite responsive right now. Because it was still running on the API. In this case, it was actually running on the grok. But if I show you the local one, today I didn't present to you this local version, but with the local version, it was taking about like 30, 40 seconds for, let's say, each iteration. So it was quite laggy, it didn't give that much interaction. It didn't give that much impression. So that's why I moved to the API. And in case of the API, generally, if the connection is good, it's around 5 seconds, which is, I would say, acceptable. So let me just run this Node.js version. However, I will use Safari because I realized that probably recently Chromium deprecated the support for the speech recognition in the browsers, so I only managed to run it in the Safari. And probably you will see right now there's, today it's quite slow. Yes, so you can see right now my, it's quite unexpected today, but let's see. So as you can see, this is the machine learning model running directly in the browser. So it just takes the frames from my robot, and then based on what it can see, it just calculates the probability of each part of, let's say, my body. And let me try even standing. I think it should work also. So I would just calibrate the posture from here. Okay. And one more thing. I would just, yeah, approach and bark will be fine. And let's change, for example, also the response. So as you can see, there's a small dashboard. And yeah, if I just stand like that, this is quite laggy. Okay, there's some reaction apparently. Okay, for some reason he's not speaking right now. Sometimes it's, yeah, he's shy, I think. Yes, I think that's, it's about the speaker, yes. Just a second. Okay, I hope it will work right now. Let me just try to execute it. Okay, it works now. So one more try. Hopefully it will work. Yes, you can see that.
Sit up straight. Level your shoulders and stop leaning back. Your posture needs correction now.
Yeah, so this is how it works. And also I can actually hold to speak to ask him about my posture. So, or probably anything. Okay, now he got...
Sit up straight. You're
All right,
leaning
all right.
back too far. Bring your shoulders forward and align your spine.
Yeah, so this is what it is, how it works. Now he's quite, quite stubborn on that, so let me just turn it off. Yeah, so that was all I wanted to present to you tonight. So thank you so much. If you would like to connect with me, here's the QR code to my LinkedIn, also my GitHub. By the way, everything what I built is open source. If you want to find it, actually, it's under LazyDog repository. So if you would like to build this kind of robot for fun, just feel free to modify, reuse my code. Also, here's my YouTube channel if you would like to check something more, and also the Straight app that I mentioned. So thank you so much. And are there any questions maybe? Yes? Yeah, it would be funny. Actually, I think I saw this kind of video a couple of weeks ago somewhere, but with this Unity